Good morning. It is the second day that we have been back from our trip. It looks like we got some people that were not here yesterday. Welcome back, Ivy. Welcome back, Mr. Adrian Dubs. Who else is back that wasn't? I think I saw Para at the beginning, but he might be having to go to work. So I'm trying a little bit of a different setup today, kind of like where the screens are and stuff like that. So I might be looking in different places. I'm trying to do this thing where it makes the chat, so I pop out the chat to make the chat easier to see, but it also makes it a little more complicated to make sure that in case something goes wrong or the stream goes down, I need to be able to see the actual OBS going down too. So I know that something's wrong. If I just have the chat up, definitely going to not know that something's wrong, which is bad. Yes, Adrian, the trip was fantastic. It really has made me consider, and I had considered it before, but this maybe just heightened my desire or consideration of at some point purchasing an RV, so that I don't have to pay inordinate amounts. That's a hard one to say. Inordinate amounts. There we go. On just renting one, because we rented that RV that you saw in the videos, and it was, I don't know if I told you guys, but it was like for the 7 days just to rent the RV itself was like $1,500-$1,600, and then of course that's not counting gas. Well, no, if you saw the one in the in this, it's a truck and an RV together, 29 foot. So the truck itself, there's no need for towing, which I would prefer that, so you don't have to buy a truck and something. So that's two things that you're taking care of. But it was like $1,500-$1,600 just to rent it for the 7 days, and that's not including gas. Now, luckily, we lucked out on gas. I had planned for like $4 a gallon. And I made it so that when we went into Canada, because of course Canada is going to be a lot more expensive for gas than it is here in the States, and I filled up right before we crossed the border into Canada and didn't have to fill up again until we got back into the United States on the other side of Lake Ontario. So I planned that on purpose so I didn't have to fill up, because I think that truck was getting like 9 or 10 miles per gallon. Think about that. 9 or 10 miles per gallon. That sucks. And it's like a $55 or 55 gallon tank. So I think we filled up 3.5 times through the whole trip, which is about 1,200, 1,300 miles that we drove. So I think each time we filled up the tank, it was, because it was below $4 a gallon, it was only like 365 was the highest we paid. And I think to fill up the tank was like $170 each time just to fill up the tank. So times that by 3. So you're talking about $2,000 just in renting and gas for that thing. And then we had to pay for food as well as campsites to hook up your electric and water and stuff like that. I think it was around average of 50 per campsite each night. And we didn't stay in a campsite every night, but almost every night. So you're talking like we paid a good I would say $2,500 for the trip, which is way more than I was kind of expecting. So, yeah, I would love to actually buy one of them. And yes, they are expensive. That's why I can't buy one right now. Because I think the one that we used, I asked him afterwards, I said, hey, how much did you buy this for? Because what surprised me is when we started driving it, the odometer said 9,300 miles. And I was like, this is a 2018. There's no way there's only 9,000 miles on this thing. So I asked him, I was like, is that correct? And he was like, yeah. He's like, we bought it and we just started doing this renting thing. Because he's like, we realized we weren't actually like driving it a lot, even though he's retired. And so he's like, that's why we decided to just, instead of just having it sit here, at least we could try to make some of our money back. And I was like, where did you get it? And he said he got it at some RV thing in Cleveland, like had a bunch of RVs that people were selling. And it was this old couple that had never driven it. They bought it and never really drove it that much. And so he said he bought it with, I think it was like 5,000 miles on it or something like that for $80,000. So think about $80,000. Yeah, I mean, there are some Acura MDXs and some Teslas that are around that price. So if you think about it in terms of that, that's really not that bad. Yeah. So at some point, I think that's something that we could afford. You know, once I get everything in the house paid off, maybe, or other stuff paid off. That's something that I could look into. The actual bigger problem than that is the parking. I mean, I live in a house in a neighborhood. I'm not going to park a 29-foot RV somewhere on the street. Just not going to happen. So, actually, Adrian, there are people that do that. There's a whole YouTube life of people who have built their life into. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to do that. That's too much for me. I like having my house. I like not having to be on the road. It is smaller, obviously. But yeah. Wait, what got taken down? Yesterday's? It shouldn't be. I got all the See, this is what happens with YouTube. I got all the copyright little things, but nothing said blocked. So did yesterday's get blocked? Anyway, I'll check that afterwards, because if it got blocked, that's a bunch of horse shit. I freaking hate YouTube. They don't tell me. It's one thing to block it. It's another thing to not tell me. You told me everything was fine, but... Anyway, we are here today. I really wish that this new guy, whose name is David Schaefer. Now, I've said this on the channel many times before. I don't like saying people's names, but if you don't tell me not to say your name, it's kind of hard to be like, well, there's just this random person that's had given us a song. So David, if you're mad about me saying your name, I apologize, but I didn't really know what else to do. The default is if you don't tell me not to say it, I'm gonna say it. So unless I try not to say it, actually that's the default. But like in situations where I write people back and they don't write me back, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So yes, this is a one song reaction today. So it's okay if I'm talking a little bit too much, and it is the second day back. So he doesn't really give me a description either. I also got another request today from a new person, and all they're doing is the typical PayPal kind of message. And so I'm gonna say again, I'm gonna write this person back. For those people who are new, if you're watching this and you're gonna suggest a song, I love it, can't wait for it, but you need to watch the intro video to the channel. That intro video will tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. Do not just tell me in a message in PayPal anymore what you want me to do, because there's reasons for that. Watch the video. Yeah. All right. Okay. So this is what it is. He doesn't give a description. He just says this is a cover of Phantom of the Opera. So I know some of you at the beginning of this were saying, hopefully it's Doom, hopefully it's metal. I don't know, but if it's a cover of Phantom of the Opera, the band is called Ghosts Phantomime EP. I don't know if that's a metal band that's doing a cover of Phantom of the Opera, but I don't think that we've ever had this band on the channel, or this whatever it is. If it's an EP, I don't think we've ever had it on the channel, but it is a cover of Phantom of the Opera by this band or whatever called Ghosts Phantomime. I think it's Phantomime. So let's just get right into it. Here we go with Ghosts Phantomime. Okay, definitely metal progressive so far. What's up, Arrow? Okay, I like that. Oh. Woo! Okay. Yeah. Sounds like Iron Maiden. The point of a cover. So Scott, you know this band, Ghosts Phantomime? Have we had them on the channel before? It sounds really good. I think the production of it sounds really good. And the bass is really high in the mix, and I freaking love it. It's just Ghost? So then what's the Phantomime? What does that mean? It says Ghost Phantomime EP. Is that the name of the album? And it's just Ghost? Whoa! Oh, okay, it's the name of the EP. I was so confused. I was like, because it says Ghost with an S. It doesn't say Ghost. Isn't the band's name Ghost? Ah, Adrian's not a fan. Okay, it's just Ghost, but in his description it says Ghost Phantomime. Oh. Okay, here's a very progressive-ish part. Oh. I think this sounds excellent. Singing sounds good. I think the production of it sounds good. I gotta hear it more to find out if I would actually put it on a playlist, though. Who's the one who turned in Ghost before? Was it Scott? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, halftime. Huh. What's up, Wade? You sound like a connoisseur of music, Wade. I don't have time for that. I like this. Yes! Just hear those octaves by the bass. Yeah! Yeah, I feel like it's not like... It's like in between power metal, like metally, little cheesy power or whatever it is, but... Ooh, that bass. Love that low fucking note. Shock rock? Okay, modern day out. Okay, that makes sense. I can see that. I really wish Schaefer was here to throw in why he chose the song. Maybe he'll comment after he watches it. Nice. Nice switch there. Back to the Iron Maiden feel. Ah, spectacle and theatrics, like Alice Cooper. That makes sense. Schaefer, I'm digging this, and I agree with the... I love the production. I think it sounds really well produced. I like the guitar parts, the runs. Singing's not bad. And he's not singing that much, so this might go on a playlist for me. But I agree that it's not like something I love. Yeah, it's like almost like it's good, but it doesn't have like an it factor for some reason. Colin, I think that's a good point. That's a good point. Listen to that. They toured with Volbeat? Okay, now it picked it up a bit. Da, 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 da. There. I'm the phantom of the opera, I'm the devil, not just out to scare. My God, it's your mind and your soul is just flows through the air. Yeah, here's like the theatrics aspect of it. I haunt you, I taunt you, I torture you back at my land. Yeah. Is that it? Yes, so. All right. So, Mr. Schaefer, I again wish that you were here. I try to tell everybody that who suggests a song. So I'm going to try to do the same thing with the new person who suggested a song last night. If you could be here, it's much better because then we can interact with you in the chat, regardless of whether we like it or not. We can ask questions. You can give us your opinion on what you think and why you picked it. You obviously, out of all the songs you could have chosen, chose this for a reason. I would like to know that reason. So if you watch this later, can you please at least comment what you liked about the song, why you picked it, and as I said in the reaction itself, this is a song that I think is well produced, sounded good to me. I liked a lot of the riffs and the parts. Singing was not bad, which is a good thing coming from me because I think a lot of music in this genre is not good. The singing kind of ruins the song for me, and it didn't ruin the song for me, but it also didn't like make me want to listen to it more. It was right on the cusp. It was right on the cusp of like I liked it. I'll put it on a playlist and see if it sticks. I think that's going to be the question. The question is, it's good enough to be on a playlist, but when I'm listening through my playlist, if it pops up and I'm like, and I get this like initial feeling of and it doesn't like go away, I'll probably take it off the playlist. It's kind of where I'm at with this. So yeah. That is the only song that we have prepared for today. However, since it is so short, I was like, I might as well throw something in from myself. So, yeah, I'm going to throw something in for myself that'll probably get this blocked, I'm guessing. But I'm going to record it and then I'll upload it because I don't think many people are going to love this anyway, necessarily. But since we have had... mostly because of Jim, who Mr. Jim has not been on here lately. Because Jim has had Marillion on here quite a bit, I decided that I thought it would be cool because I had mentioned it when we were talking about Marillion. I had mentioned that there was this video. I think it's on Once in a Lifetime. It's like a video that's a compilation of Dream Theater's tour and stuff like that for several years. And they did this like one-off cover show with Barney Fife from Napalm Death doing a cover of Metallica's, I can't remember which song it was, Battery, I think, or something like that. And they played with Yes's guitar player for Yes. I can't think of his name right now. He's older. They played a kind of a jam with him. And then they did a song with Marillion. And Marillion, it's obviously Marillion's song. I think it's called Easter. And it's their song. And I think they just told them the chords right before they played it. So it's, yeah, Steve Howe. Thank you, Michael. It's not like, I think Dream Theater's literally just improvising because they don't know this. They know the song, but they know the chords, but it's not like they practiced it before they just started playing it. But it is live. And I thought since we've had Marillion on, and of course Dream Theater and Marillion are kind of like in the same arena anyway, that we would show this since we've had them on the channel. If some of you have not seen this, I think it's a pretty cool song. The singer looks really thin and younger compared to what we've seen him in the live videos that Jim sent us. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know when this would have been in the timeline of their career, but it's really cool to see this. And again, the delay part at the end that Steve Hogarth, is that his name, plays is really cool. I really like it. So nonetheless, let's get into it. Here is that from a long, long time ago. It's probably gonna get blocked. I didn't record it. I just remembered to do it here. Oops. I hope it doesn't go down because of that. And I always love this because Portnoy looks like he's Jesus. His beard, his long hair. Colin. Yeah, I probably should always be recording. Good point. Easter's here again. In time for the blind to see. Interesting. You can see them looking at each other like, yeah, are we right? Are we good? Out of the port of Liverpool, bound to the north of Ireland. Which is an interesting lyric. I think it's a beautiful song. I feel like it's Renaissance Festival type. It just sounds like a ballad to me. Sounds like an 80s ballad to me. I think the song's called Easter by Marillion. And they're just with Dream Theater on a one-time gig. Probably told them the chords to play, and they're all trying to figure it out. I love this solo. I love this solo. It's beautiful. Not technical, just beautiful. Interesting, the video's off from the audio a little bit. The video's a little bit ahead of the audio. Yep, that's Marillion's guitars too. Now is pretty... got some weight on it. Yeah, true, Para, I would agree with that, which is why I said I like Mark Bonilla. Mark Bonilla's bends are just great, out of this world. And I think the great thing about Hogarth, I think is his name, or maybe I'm mixing it up, is his feel is so good that it makes up for the lack of technicality necessarily of, like, you know, sweeps and shit like that, which doesn't fit this music anyway, so. And I love this next part with delay. Here we go. And I like the singing here, it's just kind of catchy. Oh, Adrian, I want you to see the next song. He looks like he's in pain singing though. Right here. sounds good, but that's great, Wade. Yeah, and that's the end of it. Cuts out. Now, normally in the video, they go to like I think Petrucci's talking about how Yes and Genesis and them people are like heavily big influences on them, but they also really like the metal side of things. And then it goes into them playing with Steve Howe, and then I think Barney Fife is the first one. Yeah, it's not normally an abrupt finish like that. I think whoever made this, I tried to find a better one, but the video quality was not good. So that's why I chose this one, because it had lyrics. And yeah, I didn't really get the lyrics, which is a good segue into the next and last thing I wanted to show you guys. And I'm going to just have my disclaimers and my preferences for this. And what made me decide to put it on here is when I was on my trip, the song came up a couple of times on the playlist when we were driving for hours and hours. And I was just like, man, and I said it on the channel so many times before. Lyrics for me are just, they're just like lower on the list of importance. But when you do have good lyrics, it really makes the song with the cherry on top if it's already a good song. So it just like makes it in a top tier when you have like great music and great writing, and then the lyrics are also really good and the message is really good. It just, that puts the song over the top into the top tiers of songs that I'm really, really going to like. And for this song in particular, I've said I tend to think what I consider good lyrical content is stuff that I can practically relate to. I'm not saying the lyrical content of stuff that I can't relate to or that doesn't make sense is not good lyrical content, but it's kind of like reading poetry. Actually, I'll even put it this way. Yesterday, I went to the Columbus Art Museum with my other half, and I typically hate art museums because a lot of the art that I see, I'm just like, okay, I have no idea what this means. I'm just kind of reading into an interpretation that I want to read into it, blah, 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 blah. But yesterday, one of the things I was really happy about was that for each painting, it had like a little description that kind of told you what the original intent of the artist was in the painting or whatever it may be. And I was like, that makes a lot more sense. A lot of times with music lyrical content, a lot of it is very indirect, very ethereal, and it's something that probably the writer of the song understands and knows where it's coming from, but unless they clarify that to the listener, you're never going to know what the fuck it means. It's just this thing, you know what I mean? You just have to figure it out. And okay, but the more fantasy like that those are, the more discretion there is to understand what it is. So I think, in the way I'm defining, I know other people, especially Jason and other people, will not define it this way, but the way that I am defining good lyrical content is stuff that, like, on a first listen or on a, just listening to the lyrics, you know what they're talking about, and it's very like something you can relate to, something that I can really be like, yes, I know what they're talking about, I know how it feels, and it's just such a great way. Which is why I've said, I think one of the top 10 songs of, I don't know, the last 2-3 decades is Slow Dancing in a Burning Room by John Mayer. Because the lyrical content is very practical, very understandable, and put in a way that's not just direct. It's in allegory, it's in symbolism, but the symbolisms are easy to understand. They're not like these things that just make you go, what? So, that being said, this song is that kind of song. It's a very poppy song, so those of you who don't like pop songs, you're probably not going to care for this either. It is also a tribute song to U2. So this is Dream Theater's tribute to U2. So they purposely wrote the song trying to tribute the sound to a YouTube type of sound, not YouTube. And I love it. I'm not saying it's one of their best songs ever, but I think the melody is good to it. I think it's catchy. I think it's got a great yes content in the latter half of the song when it goes into the bridge. And it's just a beautiful song lyrically. I think lyrically, it's probably mostly a romantic kind of message, but it also could be applied to just relationships in general. And I think it's a great message, and it's kind of like the way I feel with someone that I care about perfectly. It sums up in the words perfectly. And so I have put the lyrics on here as well as the video because it's live. I think it's Score is the video. So this is I Walk Beside You by Dream Theater. And this is one of the reasons, again, that I love Dream Theater is because you can have Dream Theater write technically hard shit that's really all over the place. And then you can have them write stuff like this. You don't have many bands that have that kind of eclectic discography like Dream Theater does. And this is one of those examples of that. So here we go. Here's the lyrics. This is gonna get blocked. With Portnoy too. And James sounds fantastic on the song. I wish he still sounded like this.
There's a story in your eyes. I can see the hurt behind your smile. For every sign I recognize.
I mean, just think about saying this to someone you love.
Let me know what plagues your mind. Let me be the one.
Especially the chorus and the melody is very U2. You'll hear it. Portnoy sounds great on this in backup. Here we go. Great message. I walk beside you. Summon up your ghost for me. I like that little. And his hi-hat work in this song is under the radar good.
Let me be the one who understands, be the one to carry you.
This song has had me tear up a few times when I've listened to it.
Tell me once again what's below the surface.
Yeah.
If you lost your way, I will take you in. I walk beside you.
What's up, Nicholas? Yes, he does sound good here. Now, I love this breakdown in this next part. It's just great. Great harmonies, too. Very Yes inspired. Exactly, Colin, it does suck. So don't give up. Don't give in. There we go. Yeah, James is pretty bad these days, but what can we do? It sounds so good here. Colin. So yeah, that's just an example of, like I've said many times before, why I just think Dream Theater is in a historically in a position by themselves, because they just have songs that are all over the board and well written. I can't even believe the warning sign didn't come up for that. Shocked. Um, it's just great, and that they can write stuff like that that's quote unquote cheesy and poppy, and like you would never. I give the same credit a lot to Extreme, because Extreme, at least until this new solo album or solo came out for Nuno, whenever people said Extreme, people were like the More Than Words guys and the Wholehearted guys. They were a two-hit wonder in the mainstream for those two songs, which is nothing like what they actually are. They go anywhere. They're mostly trio rock, and in that genre, they're not progressive necessarily or heavy metal or anything. But it's just like, no. And if you just listen to Dream Theater on this one song, you'd be like, oh, that's like a very poppy, straightforward band. And then you hear stuff like, Under a Glass Moon and stuff like that, and you're just like, it's just, I love that they can have eclectic sounds and takes on songs, well written songs, technical songs, easy songs, and they hit the whole thing, and you just have the whole experience. So love the concept of I Walk Beside You. I think it's a great message. I think it was well written lyrically. And Jason, that's the kind of stuff I like. If I think Another Day, even Another Day is a great song too. But you do have to know that it's about his dad dying of cancer. If you don't know that, then you're not going to understand Another Day, which is another example of, like, if I just listened to Another Day, I'd be like, okay, I know it's about somebody dying or not dying today or whatever. But when you know that it's John Petrucci's song towards his dad, you're like, oh, and then Take Away My Pain, when you know that's also a follow-up to his dad, you're like, but even those, like this song, you don't have to have any context given to you whatsoever. You listen to it and you're like, I know exactly what that's about. I connect with it. I love that. Same thing with John Mayer's Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. You don't need any context. You just listen to it and you're like, wow, so many people can relate to that song in relationships that should die and they don't die. And the way he does it allegorically is just beautiful. But anyway, yeah, that's all I had for you guys today. Just a couple more songs on top of what was given to us. As I've said before, so we've got Colin, who turned in a old or new set, which will be next Saturday. And then the Saturday after that is Colin's full album review of something. But we also got this one song last night from somebody that we'll probably put in next weekend at some point. But other than that, the schedule is open. And no, I'm not just going to do random things. So we're going to go probably week by week on people turning in sets or not. If people don't turn in sets, then we're not going to be having live streams. And if they do, we will. So hope you guys have a great Sunday. And we will see you guys, since we don't have a live stream tomorrow night because nobody turned anything in, we will see you next Saturday. So peace out. You guys rock. Later.